Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be taking a closer look at Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match. Remember, good readers are always going back and rereading the text. When you do that, you can learn a lot more about the text. The first day we read it, we were just reading to get the gist, to understand it. The second time we went through and read this, we were looking at the point of view, and that opened up a lot of different information about our story. And today, we are going to be reading and looking at the central message of the story. Now, central message can also be called a moral or a lesson. And all of these things are something that the author is trying to teach the reader. So it is a lesson that you can learn from the story. Now, the author isn't going to come out and just say the central message. You have to read in between the lines and figure out what the author is trying to tell us. So now we're going to go through Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match and try to figure out what the lesson is. What is the author trying to tell us? What are they trying to teach us? So throughout our story in Marisol McDonald, we saw that her friends wanted her to change. Her brother wanted her to change. They didn't think that mismatching was a good idea. They thought it was a problem. So Marisol decided to change. And remember, Marisol sat in the back. She was very sad. She didn't want to play with anybody. Her pictures were not colorful and they were not unique like she is until she got that message from Miss Tamika Apple. Marisol, I want you to know that I like you just the way you are. Because the Marisol McDonald I know is a creative, unique, bilingual, Peruvian Scottish American, soccer playing artist, and simply marvelous. Miss Tamika Apple. And remember, Marisol skipped all the way home when she read this. So in this letter, Miss Apple is telling her that she likes her just the way she is. She doesn't think that Marisol needs to change. This helps show Marisol that everyone has an opinion. Some people might think that her mismatching is bad, like her brother and her friend Ollie. But Miss Apple had a different opinion, and she thinks that it's great, and she loves the way she is. Now, on this page, we see Marisol back to being mismatching. This page says, when I wake up on Saturday, I put on my pink shirt, my polka dot skirt, and my favorite hat, and the one that my abuelita bought me from Peru. At breakfast, I say, my name is Marisol McDonald, and I don't match because I don't want to. Bravo, says Mommy. Good for you, says Dad. Now let's go to the pound and get a puppy. So by examining all of these events that happened in our story, we can figure out what the central message is. So think, what lesson do you think the author is trying to teach us? Marisol was unhappy when she was matching, but then when she discovered Miss Apple thinks she's great the way she is, she went back to being mismatching. Those events can help us learn what the lesson is. So these events helped me learn that the lesson is it's more important to be yourself than to be like everyone else. So that's the lesson we are learning from this story, that you should be unique. You should be yourself rather than trying to be like everyone else. This is the central lesson. The author doesn't come out and say, you shouldn't try to be like everyone else. You should be yourself. We had to read between the lines and look at the events in the story to figure out that central message.